This meeting is being recorded.
And welcome back to the Profile Pod. I'm your host, Double A, here for another spectacular episode of the pod. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you're joining us from. If you're on the audio platforms, the video platforms, it doesn't matter. As long as you're here with us, it's all good, man. We got another special episode in store for everybody. We got our guest standing by right now. Before we get into everything, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Profile Pod, follow us, share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave me a rate and review on Apple Podcasts. I always love getting the feedback. So this is the podcast that brings on individuals doing extraordinary things in life to inspire the human spirit. And our guest tonight is doing just that. And don't forget, before I go any further, don't forget about Social Nostra, the network of talented creators and podcasters now available on Roku, YouTube, Instagram TV, Social Nostra, IGTV. It's all good, man. There's something there for everybody. Go check out Social Nostra. There's something there for everyone, man. So let's get into brass tacks, man. Actually, I just it's good to be back here. I took a couple weeks off from recording, so it's always a pleasure to get back on. I kind of had to take a step away. I've been going hard, man, for the last few years, and I'm only human. And so sometimes you just got to take a break, and because podcasting is a grind. It is a grind. I enjoy this. I love doing this, but again, I'm only human. So it's good to be back on the mic here. So, yeah, like I said, man, let's go ahead and get into our guest. This gentleman is back, and he was here last in November of 2020. Believe it or not, gosh, time flies. And he does a very, very unique thing. He's a poet. He's a rhymer. What he does is just bottom line, super cool, unique, original. And I'll let him explain in just a little bit. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back the one, the only out of Minnesota, the land of the lakes, my fellow Laker fan, the one and only Purple Preacher. What is up, brother? Good to have you back.
Brother, thanks for having me back, man. It's great to be back with you. And I'm glad you're back doing your thing, man.
Absolutely, man. No, thank you, brother, for joining us here, man. And like I said, it's been a while, man, but like I've seen you doing your thing out there, and you're doing your videos, you're creating your content, man, and you're keeping all of us entertained, man. it's
Well, you likewise, you too, man. And congrats on all your success, man. Keep doing your thing.
Thank you so much, Josh. Yeah, it's we do you do what you do, man, and I know you love what you do, and I do this. I love doing this, and getting back into the acting thing. We were talking earlier, and it's just doing what you love to do, man. That's the bottom line. Whether you get paid for it or not, the bottom line is doing the things that you love to do in life, in general.
Amen, for sure.
Yeah, man, no doubt, man. And Josh, man, so man, what's going on with you, man? And what's the latest and the greatest with the Purple Preacher? I see you got your skull hat on, the Vikings, got rocking that purple.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, it's finally springtime. We finally it was a long winter up here, too long. It was snowing all the way through April, man, up all the way into May. So I mean, now it's time we can finally get outside and enjoy the weather a little bit, So it's a good time for sure.
Yeah. No, I seen those videos where you're out there on I'm assuming a frozen lake.
Oh yeah, it gets cold, man. It gets cold for sure. It was a long winter, but that's why we go crazy in the summer, skull crazy.
And and I see you, man. You'll be out there in a tank top, right?
Well, you know what? My inspiration on all that is, I don't know if you ever saw it a few years back when the Vikes were actually playing a playoff game against Seattle. It was at the TCF Stadium where the Gophers play.
Okay.
It was before the Vikings built their new, stadium there. And Bud Grant came out for the opening coin toss, and it was -6 below at kickoff. and he came out in a t-shirt, short sleeves, old Bud Grant. So, yeah.
Oh,
Good old tough Minnesotan, you know.
yeah, yeah. The Minnesota swag, man.
Oh yeah, the soda swag.
Yeah, but I see you, man, in some of your videos. That man, it's beautiful out there, man. That sunshine comes out, and
Oh, it really is, man. All the lakes and it is a beautiful place, you know, for sure.
it really is, man. I need to get out there, Josh. I need to get out to Minnesota, man. Seriously, I've
Oh,
never
well, you,
been, and I've been to Illinois. You know, that's probably the closest I've been to Minnesota. Lake Michigan. I was in boot camp out there, Great Lakes, Illinois, near Lake
okay.
Michigan, outside of Chicago,
Yeah, yeah.
in the winter.
Oh, yeah. Cold and windy.
Oh man, you know, Southern California boy, 18 years old, out in the going to boot camp in December, man, and it was
You
harsh.
weren't ready for that, huh? Well, we got, Lake Superior of the Great Lakes up north, and that's actually the largest freshwater lake in the whole world.
Oh, Lake Superior.
Yeah, yeah, it's huge.
Gosh, man, is
Bud
that the
Grant's actually from Superior, Wisconsin, which is right on the border of Duluth up there on the border of Minnesota.
who's from there?
And
I'm sorry.
Bud Grant, speaking of the old legend, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the old Minnesota Vikings coach. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's from okay. He's from man, yeah, the Minnesota, man. You can go on and on and on about legends and notable people. And I mean Prince,
Mm.
Bob Dylan, Morris
Mhm.
Day. Gosh, I mean, that's just scratching the surface, man.
Prince actually, he used to say the cold weather up here kept all the bad people out, but it's not working anymore.
Oh man.
I'm supposed to be Minnesota nice, that's the whole thing, but I gotta just, speak the truth.
Oh man. And so right now the Twins are in full season, full swing, no pun intended. And
Yeah,
but
doing good. Yeah, yeah. First place as of right now. So yeah, they're off to a good start.
yeah, man. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Hey, Josh, man, tell us a little bit, describe a little bit what you do, man, for the audience. Tell them because I don't want to, I don't want to mess it up. I want to do it to be just. I don't want to not do it justice, but because what you do is so unique. Like I said, it's super original. Tell us a little bit about what you do, man. If you could describe it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say I'd call it maybe like sports entertainment because, like you said, I am a poet. I rhyme, and it's usually pretty related to my favorite teams. The Vikings, and I'm of course a big Lakers fan, like you said, and then I get into the boxing, the UFC, all that kind of stuff too, and yeah, and I try to mix in a little comedy, obviously, try to make people
Some
laugh
Rick,
a little bit.
some Ric
And
Flair.
oh yeah, the Nature Boy, yeah, that's my
Woo!
yeah. He's coming back too, man, this summer. One last time. He's 73 years old and he wants to get back in the ring. So we'll
Oh
we'll pray for him that he'll be all right.
gosh, man. Seriously. Is this some kind of publicity stunt or I mean a gimmick or what? He's really gonna wrestle?
Apparently, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people don't want him to do it, and I think he's still trying to find an opponent, someone that'll even wrestle him. But no, he's a legend, man, and yeah, he's from here, so yeah, I'm just representing where I'm from, the hometown here, and yeah, Flair, man, going back to I don't know if you've heard of the legend Vern Gagne, old
Yes.
AWA wrestling. That's where Flair he got his start with in AWA with Vern, back in the early '70s, and a lot of those guys, Hogan, you name it, Shawn Michaels, these guys were all AWA back in the day. So there's a great history for sports entertainment, and I grew up with, watching these guys. So, it's they inspired me. So I guess that's who you can blame, for,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. But I think you remember last time I remember you telling me you have a family member, maybe an uncle, the Blue Poet. He used to go by the Blue Poet, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was an inspiration too. Yeah, I come from a big musical family, and a lot of songwriters and musicians, and just all around funny people, actors, comedians and stuff, So yeah, that's a lot of where it comes from. I gotta thank my family,
Uh-huh.
Sure.
Yeah, man, that is awesome, man. And I mean, ladies and gentlemen, the Purple Preacher, he has a very unique style of performing. He'll take he just rhymes. I mean, I yeah, it's, like I said, I try to describe it, man, and I don't do it justice because it's so unique, man. And you'll just rhyme for I don't know several bars, right? You'll do, and
Mhm.
you'll dribble a basketball. You'll be on location. You'll be on a frozen lake. You'll be in front of a venue in Minnesota. You'll be out in. I've seen you in Vegas, out in front of Allegiant Stadium.
Oh yeah.
Depending on what the event is, who the team is that's
Yeah.
playing, football or
Yeah.
basketball, or baseball, like you said, and you'll rhyme, you'll just say several. Yeah, you'll just go on and go on, and it's like it's super cool, man. And the way you do that, man, is just unbelievable, man.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
No doubt, man, no doubt. And how long you been doing now? How long has the Purple Preacher been going now, Josh?
Really, I've really only been doing it for maybe just over four years, maybe now. I've done like stand-up comedy for that's going on probably about like 9 years almost, and I just kind of incorporated the whole Purple Preacher, the alter ego into the routine probably just over 4 years ago.
Wow, man. That's incredible, man. Because now, you know what I want? It just came to mind, Josh. Is so when you're doing a video, when you're doing a performance, like, does it take multiple takes, I mean, it seems like you're just on it, man. You don't need any.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes it will it will take more than one take, or sometimes more than that. But sometimes it's one hit wonder, just nail it right away too. That does happen.
Wow, man.
If you get lucky. But yeah, I can't sit here and profess to be like the ultimate freestyle rapper, but there's up here in Minnesota that we're home to some of the greatest freestyle rappers too, like of all ever too, like Idea, rest in paradise, but he was battle rap champ of he won the trifecta: Blaze Battle, Scribble Jam, and the rock steady, like all in 1 year too. Like no one's ever done anything like that, and I saw the other day on his battle rap record, the only two defeats he ever had recorded were actually Slug from Minneapolis, Rhyme Sayers, his own camp, and Brother Ali, another Minneapolis guy. Those were the only two guys that ever beat him, and that was just maybe one time each. But yeah, so um, that's an inspiration, just to rhyme like that. But yeah, I'm not in any kind of league like those guys,
But would you describe yourself as a rapper, a poet, a rhymer? Like, how do you describe yourself, Josh?
Yeah, no, yeah, poet would be good. Rhymer, the rhyme minister, but at the end of the day, just yeah, just kind of a comedian too. Like I say, I'm just trying to an entertainer, just trying to perform, and if I can make someone laugh or smile,
No doubt.
that's what it's all about.
No doubt, man. And so, what's going on with the comedy, man? The stand-up comedy. Are you performing in venues now? How often do you perform too?
Yeah, yeah. I've been taking a little break from it. Just I've been started writing a book actually about kind of like the whole Minnesota sports history and everything that we have up here. But yeah, they got some good, like there's an Acme Comedy Club that I'll perform at, and it's rated like it's in Minneapolis, rated like top 5 clubs like in the whole country. So it's a blessing, there's guys like Mitch Hedberg,
Oh,
he he got to start there, Nick Swardson. There was back They have every year they got like a Twin Cities funniest person contest.
okay.
So I've been in that, and a couple of years ago, like 2020, I got first runner up in that. So I take consolation because maybe I wasn't the funniest in Minneapolis, but it's the Twin Cities. So if I'm the funniest in St. Paul, that's I rep for St. Paul too. That's actually where Hedberg and Swartzen and those guys are from St. Paul.
No,
We just lost Louis Anderson not too long ago, a legend
oh.
from up here.
Louis Anderson is from Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know Mitch Hedberg is from
yeah,
Minnesota.
yeah. St. Paul, and oh yeah, there's a great performing arts town all together up here.
Gosh, no doubt, man. Mitch
Liz,
Hedberg,
yeah, that
funny.
Liz Winstead, that co-creator of the Daily Show, she's from comedian from up here too.
Mm. I'm telling you, man, the list just goes on and on, man.
Oh yeah, it
The Purple Preacher, damn it, is from Minnesota.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, like you said, man, you go Bob Dylan you were talking about. I mean, I could go on and on when it comes to like even the actors and actresses. It's like if you want me to do some more name dropping, I could keep going on that.
yeah, man. It's just it's incredible, man. It's incredible. I mean, just gosh, I mean, I remember watching Purple Rain back in the day, Josh, when I was a kid, man. When it came out, we watching it on VHS,
Oh
and and what's funny? I'm thinking now, man. Back then, like I remember watching the movie. I'm like thinking, where the heck are they? Is that I couldn't tell if it was L.A. You know how they filmed it, in the city, right?
yeah.
And I couldn't tell it was where that was, and I couldn't tell if it was L.A. But then I was a kid wondering, and
Yeah.
come to find out the whole thing was in Minnesota, in Minneapolis, right? Film the
Oh
live
yeah, yeah,
magic.
yeah, for sure. And out on Lake Minnetonka. But a funny story with Prince too. I don't know, maybe you've heard this one. He rented out in LA back in the day. I think this was around 2004. He rented Carlos Boozer's like home out there. I think it was where was it at exactly? Bel Air, or somewhere out there.
Yeah.
And Boozer was playing for the Utah Jazz. Have you heard this story?
No, no, I've heard of Carlos Boozer though. Yeah, for sure. He was a
Yeah,
Laker too, right?
yep, yeah, he was. But he at the time he was playing for Utah, so he rented his home to Prince. And when he came back, Prince had painted it all purple, put an all purple carpet, and he he even changed his weight room into like a nightclub, and he put in a hair salon in there. So like,
Never heard this.
oh yeah, it's pretty funny, man.
Wow. What did Carlos Boozer say about that? Did you hear anything?
Well, yeah, he wasn't too happy, but I think they were able to settle out of court at least.
Oh wow, that's funny, man. That sounds like something Prince would do, man. Oh yeah, what is it? The purple, the color purple, brother. It's just it goes synonymous with Minnesota, right? I mean, it's just when you think about Prince, the Vikings, the Purple Preacher. I mean, just What is it? What do you think it is, man, about that color? And why? How is purple? Does it have a significance in Minnesota? Was Prince inspired by the color purple? Being from Minnesota, or what? Is there anything you can shed light on?
Yeah, I think you know, Prince, you maybe know, he did play basketball in high school. He went to Minneapolis Central High School, so he was definitely a Minnesota sports guy. I can remember, seeing him sitting courtside, even at Timberwolves games and stuff. And so, yeah, I'm sure, he was a Vikings guy. And, when he graduated in 76 from Minneapolis Central, I mean, that was the time of the Purple People Eaters, and the Vikings. They were in like, 4 Super Bowls. And although they didn't win any, but, maybe this year, I don't know if you ever heard the story I think it was 75 when they were playing the Cowboys, and we had, the great Fran Tarkington was the quarterback for the Vikings, and game came down to the wire, and it was here, outside at the Met Center. They used to play outside in Bloomington down there, which is now the site of the Mall of America, is
Oh,
where that is. But it was Roger Staubach for the Cowboys, like threw a 50-yard Hail Mary, with like a few seconds left, and the receiver pushed off and caught the touchdown. And, there was no penalty flags. That's where the term Hail Mary actually comes from that play. And the fans there were so irate, someone even threw like a whiskey bottle. It hit the official and knocked him out. So they had to, stop play for a while. And the sad part too was Fran's dad, who was a reverend back, I think he was down in Texas, actually had a heart attack watching that game
oh,
and died. So it was yeah, it was
gee.
not to be.
I never heard that story, Josh.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah.
Man, wow. The Hail Mary was coined during that
Hmm.
game after that last pass, huh?
Yeah.
Well, and then I think about the Lakers, Josh.
Oh,
They're from Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they end up being purple. So I'm
yeah.
like, gosh, come to think of it, you know what? I wonder if, yeah, that's why I'm asking. It's like, what does the color purple have to do with Minnesota, or if it if it has any type of significance, but
Yeah.
the Vikings, obviously. So that's cool, man.
Yeah, it's I'm glad you mentioned the old Lakers too, because I said I'm writing this book, and man, that was the original dynasty, the Minneapolis Lakers, the first dynasty in basketball, back with George Mikan and Vern Mickelson. Those guys, they won like 6 out of 7 years. They won championships, even before the NBA, it was officially the NBA, they had won a couple before that. And the only year they lost in that run was Mikan broke his ankle, and he was still trying to play in the playoffs even on a broken ankle. That's how tough these guys were. But yeah, they were so dominant. I mean, it's incredible. You hear these stories. I mean, the NBA had to change all the rules just for the Lakers and Mike, and the goaltending rule. They widened the lane. They had and even the shot clock, because there would be teams that would just try to stall. There was a team that beat the Lakers like 19-18 was like the final score, because they just didn't
They
want
just
to.
held on to the
So
ball.
yeah, there was even a time when they tried having a 12-foot rim in an NBA game, thinking that would, but the Lakers still wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, the NBA's always been trying to conspire against the Lakers, man. Even back then, huh? You know,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then the Lakers go on that big run, yeah, in the 50s, right? And then they couldn't beat the Celtics in the 60s, man. Like they'd go they faced each other several times throughout the 60s. And then in that 69 finals when Wilt Chamberlain uh I think he was pissed off at the coach. From what I understand, the story is he was pissed off and pulled himself out of the game because supposedly his I think it was a leg injury. And then when the Lakers were down in that game, and then they made that comeback, and then Chamberlain asked the coach to put him back in, and the coach told him to get lost. I don't know if you ever heard that story. It was in
Oh,
that
really? Oh,
yeah, and then so Chamberlain never came back in, and then that was the game that they had placed the balloons up in the rafters. I think it was Game 7 in the Inglewood Forum. And the Celtics saw that, and I heard Jerry West was pissed. He's like, "Well, who did that? Who?" And it was the owner, Jack Kent Cood, who had those balloons placed up there, and they never came down. Because the Lakers ended up losing that game. But anyways, but just another story, Laker lore.
have you been watching that Winning Time?
I haven't, man. I think it's on HBO, man. I don't have is it HBO or Showtime or something?
Yeah, HBO Max, I think. Yeah.
Have you been watching that?
No, I don't have it either. I wish so. It looks pretty good.
I know it looks good. Yeah, yeah, no, but Jerry West, I heard, was upset about because I guess
Yeah.
he's portrayed as some tyrant or something. He was like, "Man, that ain't me. That wasn't me."
No,
And they said that the production company came back saying, "No, we did extensive research, saying that hey, this is what we heard and this is what we discovered or researched that you were like. So we're portraying it as real as we can be, as we can get." I don't know.
no, I heard. Yeah, I heard he wasn't too happy about that. Well, and one connection between the Lakers and the Vikings, and I think we've talked about it before last time, but Bud Grant, this coach, the Vikings coach for all those Super Bowls, actually used to be a Minneapolis Laker too. Played for the Lakers.
Damn, I don't remember that. But
Yeah,
he
for
was
the
Bud Grant.
Minneapolis. Yeah, yeah.
I
He
think
played in the NFL too.
what's that cup you got there, man? Is that a Vikings cup?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I love it,
Yeah.
man. I love it, bro. Yeah, I think I vaguely remember that, buddy. But the Bud Grant was a Laker, man. That's incredible, man.
Oh
Football
yeah.
head coach.
Well, it goes deep too. Like when you really study this stuff, research it, like I've been doing, going back, like Johnny Cunla, the Hall of Fame coach that coached the Minneapolis Lakers,
Yep.
he was at Minneapolis Central, the high school that Prince went to. That's his alma mater too. The high school doesn't even exist anymore,
Oh,
but that's where he was from. And then he was the Lakers coach, and they wanted him to go to LA when they moved, in 1960 to LA, but
yep.
he wanted to stay in Minnesota, so he just became the Gophers coach. And the same thing with, they wanted Vern Mickelson to go to LA too, but he didn't want to leave Minnesota, another Hall of Famer. And they even offered him 25% in ownership if he went. And he turned it down.
Wow.
He's not with us today, he's in paradise, but
Yes.
can you imagine what that would have been worth today if he's
God. Oh man.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
What's that? Go ahead, Josh.
one of Johnny Cunla, Coach Cunla's players at the U, the Golden Gophers, which they've had some pretty good basketball teams and stuff. I think it was Al Nunes played for Cunla and then was coach with him, but then went to coach at Minneapolis Central, and that was actually Prince's basketball coach.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
What's his name again? Al Nunes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Al Nunes.
Yeah. So it's a small world, really, up here.
Yeah, man. That sounds familiar. Did he coach in the NBA or professionally?
Not that I know of for
No.
sure.
Yeah, yeah, man. Uh, yeah, and then you have Michael Thompson,
Yeah, yeah.
Golden Gopher and Laker.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was a first overall pick in the NBA. And then of course Clay's dad, Clay Thompson's dad, yeah.
No doubt, man. No doubt. And now Michael Thompson's a color commentator for the
Yeah.
Lakers a radio broadcast.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, man, I mean, we can go on and on about the Lakers and sports. And when tell us more about this book, then, Josh. When are you expecting it to publish and all that? I mean, what do you have a time frame yet for that, or just kind of?
Yeah, I mean it would be nice to get it out next season for like the Vikings, because we always think this could finally be our year, and especially this year because we got your old Rams offensive coordinator. We're excited about having Kevin
Yeah.
be the coach, and yeah, and we got the players, and nothing against old Coach Zimmer that we had, but man, he was more of a defensive coach. I mean, run it up the middle when it's like third and long. I mean, come on.
uh,
Yeah, we're pretty excited.
is he the head coach, Kevin?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and he's gonna call the offense too.
I think so. I think so.
Okay. Yeah, that's great, man. Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's gonna be interesting.
And
You guys.
congrats to your Rams, by the way, on the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, thank you, man. It was nice. It was nice, having him back, and man, what I mean, that's incredible to play in the home stadium, in the Super Bowl with your home team in the home stadium and all of that. And then
Yeah.
they had beaten the Niners, who had their number for a while, the last several years. And
Yeah.
so it was exciting. It was definitely exciting, man. I didn't have 10 grand for a ticket,
The Niners, they drafted, not this last draft that just happened, but the year before, they drafted a quarterback, Trey Lance, who was a Minnesota product, played at North Dakota State, which a lot of Minnesota guys do. But yeah, he was like the third overall pick and be their, quarterback of the future, for sure.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That he's going to be the guy for sure, man.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, going back to the book, Josh, do you have a publisher and all that, editor, or how's that process going?
I got a few connections, but nothing, finalized or nothing yet. But yeah, no, I've just been enjoying, just even all the researching and stuff, and in fact, talking about the NFL, and I was talking about this Minneapolis Central High School, Prince and Johnny Cunliffe's alma mater, going all the way back to I mean, I go way back in history with this stuff, as you can tell, but back in like the real early 1900s, there was a athlete, Bobby Marshall, from Minneapolis Central, and he went on to play for the Gophers and football, and he played baseball. Back in high school, he even played hockey, he wrestled, he boxed, did track. I mean, you name it. And he became the first black NFL player, like in 1920, Bobby Marshall from Minneapolis. So just a legend, just one of the greatest all-around athletes ever.
Wow. Bobby Marshall. I'm going to look him up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they got a book on him, and yeah, so some inspirational stories for sure.
And he's Minnesota homegrown?
Oh yeah, and then you go into back like in those days too, even like in the 20s and 30s, like the best boxers in the world were like from St. Paul. Well, some of the best, like these Gibbon brothers and a lot of these Irish fighters. And it was interesting because the history there in St. Paul back like in the early 30s, it was kind of like a mafia mecca in St. Paul, where like John Dillinger, Machine Gun Kelly, all these guys were in St. Paul because there was kind of like a crooked police chief that kind of gave them refuge to get a cut. And so anyways, this Tommy Gibbons, heavyweight fighter, one of the best, and his brother Mike was one of the best middleweights. After Tommy retired from boxing, they talked him into becoming the sheriff of Ramsey County to clean up, the problem with all these gangsters. And that's exactly what he did. He obviously had some help, but he put away like most all of them. Dillinger got away in a shootout, but that was like the only one. So yeah, Tommy Gibbons.
Very cool, man. Yeah, Dillinger. I want to say they made a movie within the last 10 Public Enemies.
With Johnny
John,
Depp. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was John. That's the one I'm thinking about, man. John Dillinger, and yeah, man. Yeah, that's very cool, man. I can't wait to see that. Do you have a title for the book, Josh?
Well, I'm thinking it could be maybe Purple Preacher, Minnesota sports teacher, put a little rhyme in there.
That's good.
We'll work on the title, but yeah, something on that order maybe. Or yeah, just Minnesota multi sports, I mean, because I'm telling you, like Bud Grant, going back to Bud, he played all three sports too for the Gophers, football, basketball, baseball. And then you got guys like Dave Winfield too from St. Paul, who ESPN, they ranked him like the third greatest all-around athlete because he played basketball for the Gophers along with baseball, obviously, and but he was also even drafted by the Vikings, drafted by all leagues,
Gosh,
so, yeah.
unreal, man, unreal. Yeah, that's it. I can't. So, like I said, man, I can't wait to read that book, man, when it comes out. And so, but there's no final. There's no working. You don't have a working title either. Nothing finalized, huh?
Not necessarily, but yeah.
But but I like that. I like what you said. The Purple Preacher, sports teacher. Is that what? I'm sorry. What did you say right now?
Oh yeah, like Purple Preacher, the Minnesota sports history teacher, something, because that's kind of what it, is about.
Yeah, I like. I was watching one of your posts on Instagram, one of your videos, and it's the one you did with the Mexican flag in the background. And I
Oh
think that Andy the Destroyer was going to fight that night. I believe with Canelo or one of those guys was fighting that night. Do you remember that one?
probably Canelo. Were you talking about Andy Ruiz?
I saw that you tagged Andy Ruiz. You used his
Okay.
you tagged him and I think Canelo, but
Okay.
it was definitely a video with you were you had the the Mexican flag in the background, and then you mentioned one of your rhymes was "I can fight like a cholo," and that cracked me up, man.
No, yeah, no. Hopefully, no, I don't offend anybody with some of the stuff. Like I say, it's all really comedy, But no, I got a great appreciation and respect for all the great Mexican fighters and that style, of really fighting, and bringing the fight, not trying to run from
Yeah.
dance around the ring or nothing. I don't want to name names like Pretty Boy Floyd, but no. And I was telling you last time too about a great female fighter out of East LA, Sinisa Superbad Estrada, and she's been killing it too. She's won like multiple belts now, still undefeated. Really doing her thing. So shout out to her.
Yeah. Sanisa Estrada, huh?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
She's undefeated currently.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah.
No, no. With boxing, Josh, I kind of fell off of it. And be honest with you, I mean, obviously you hear the big Canelo, you hear the Destroyer, you hear, I mean, uh, Klitschko brothers. I don't even know if they're still boxing, but um, I don't really keep up with boxing as much as I used to back in the day. But like I said, occasionally you'll hear those names, and you'll hear obviously the successful fighters out there. Is boxing one of your favorite sports? I mean, do you follow it like you do with like you would football or one of basketball or baseball?
Oh yeah, yeah, it's right up there for me too, because that's the thing. Like in Minnesota, people, and that's I'm trying to put people up on the rich history that we have here in Minnesota. Even when it comes to boxing, it goes way back. Like in fact, they used to have some of the biggest fights at the Armory downtown Minneapolis, and that's where the Minneapolis Lakers used to play. I mean, Sugar Ray Robinson, the best pound for pound ever. He fought there, and they've remodeled it, and they got PBC boxing there now, and they get great crowds. And there's local fighters we've had now more recently that have been champs. Jamal James from Minneapolis. We got Jamal Shango James. Caleb Truax was a champion. Rob Brandt from St. Paul. And so yeah, there's a good scene for sure up here when it comes to the fight scene, and even the UFC. I get really into that too, because we have the academy up in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, just northern suburb of Minneapolis. They've trained, that's where like Brock Lesnar trained. They've trained multiple champions, the Minnesota Muscle Shark, Sean Shirk, Dave Monet, and even Thug Rose, Rose Namajunas, trained up there. So yeah, it's a good scene for that fight scene.
Wow, man. So that building still stands. The Armory, I think you called it. It's called.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. In fact, where I played college basketball at North Central University, it's known as like Downtown U. It's just right on the south side of downtown, just blocks away from the Armory. And back in the day, before, way before my time, obviously, I heard stories where the team, North Central, actually they practice right there at the Armory too.
Wow,
That's
man.
where they play there. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. The Armory. That's where they used to play, huh? A lot of history. A lot of history in Minnesota, man. That's awesome. That's all. Man,
What?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, a lot of history, and some people might say, well, how many championships have you won? Well, besides our twins back in 87, 91, we did, I gotta show love for the ladies, our Minnesota Lynx. They won like 4 WNBA championships
Okay.
in, you know, in all like in a decade, from like 2010, to 2017 or whatever it was. But yeah, even Prince like threw a big party for him, at his place, at Paisley Park, after they won one of those championships.
Very cool, man. Yeah, you got to give it up. You got to give it up. I think did University of Minnesota football win a national championship? They have one, right? Am I
Oh
mistaken?
yeah. Well, going back into the in history, they were they were a good program back in the day, but it's been a while. But they've gotten back now. They've won their last couple bowl games, these last couple of years and stuff. So but yeah, they were back in the day. I mean, you go back to Bronco Nagurski, he
Wow.
was one of the greatest of all time. Vern Gagne, I was talking about the wrestler who started the AWA. He was a great, Gophers football player too back in the day, and he actually got drafted by the Chicago Bears, but they didn't want him to moonlight as a professional wrestler too, because Bronco had already done that when he was playing for the Bears. And so at the time, Vern was like, there was more money to be had in professional wrestling. So he turned down, the NFL and just, did the wrestling. But
Uh,
yeah, we won a Rose Bowl back in 1960. Not that I'm living in the past here, but we had Sandy Stevens, who was like the first black All-American quarterback took us, the Gophers, to two Rose Bowls back in the early 60s there. I know the name Golden Gophers probably doesn't strike a lot of fear in opponents' hearts, but, I like the maroon and gold too. It's another shade of kind of purple, So yeah, I rep for the Gophers hard too, no doubt.
I've seen you wear some of their swag, and yeah, man, it's awesome, man. I remember seeing the University of Minnesota back in the day. In I'm talking, late 80s, early 90s, and they reminded me of USC, me being out here in Southern Cal. And I just noticed that about them. Oh man, they kind of look like SC. They remind me of SC, their uniforms, because they got similar colors.
So are you more of an SC guy than UCLA, or?
No, I grew up more UCLA, believe it or not. I
Sure.
grew up more UCLA. I had an uncle that had gone to UCLA, and I just kind of gravitated toward them because of that. I like their colors better, but now it's funny because now it's kind of like whatever. Now I like when USC does well and reps the West Coast, reps California and all that when they do well. But UCLA they can never get over the hump. It seems like.
What's crazy is going back to the Minnesota old days. The Gophers, I think this was in '48. They actually interviewed John Wooden, the Wizard of Westwood, to be their basketball coach, and he was going to take the job, but there was like a snowstorm, and so the power lines went down or whatever, and he didn't hear back from them. So he took the UCLA job, and the rest is history, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy, man. Just a little bit of misfortune for us, but no, I mean, because he was probably the greatest coach of all time. But
Oh
no, and then 2 years ago, your Bruins made it to the Final Four.
I know, man. I know it's
But but if you remember that shot from Jalen Suggs, Gonzaga, in overtime, that like 40-footer at the buzzer. And the reason I bring that up is because Suggs, he's from St. Paul,
Oh, is it?
That was like the greatest shot in like tournament history.
Gosh.
Jumped up on the scorer's table. And
was John Wooden from? No, I want to say he's from Ohio, right, or Indiana.
Indiana, yeah.
Indiana.
Another great basketball state, yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Hoosier country. But Minnesota, see, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people wouldn't realize this or know it. This is actually the birthplace of college basketball. The first college basketball game ever, like 1895, was Hamlin in St. Paul. Played like the Minnesota School of Agriculture and Mining. And that was the first college game ever. Hamlin was where Vern Mickelson, the Laker Hall of Famer, where he played his college ball there too.
Unreal.
But yeah, it's a lot of history going way back here. But yeah, Jalen Suggs, though, from St. Paul too. He he was the 5th overall pick by the Magic. And he just played his rookie season, and now I saw Orlando. They just won the draft lottery, so they got the #1 pick. And so they could go with Jalen's old high school teammate Chet Holmgren, who also played at Gonzaga as a freshman, and he's projected to be, a top 3, top 5 pick. So that would be cool to reunite those guys, high school teammates at Minnehaha Academy that they won, multiple state championships up here. So I hope that happens. That would be pretty exciting. They call Chet, he's tall but real thin. They call him the Slim Reaper.
I love it, man. The Slim Reaper. Man, Josh, you got your work cut out for you on this book, man. There's a lot to be said, man. A lot of history.
So
But yeah, who's the head coach of the Minnesota Gophers right now in football?
Oh, PJ Fleck.
Yeah, that guy's good, man.
Oh yeah, he's energetic, man. row the boat. He's, is this big thing. He's catchphrase, row the boat. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's working though, man. It's they're getting good for sure. Actually, the Vikings just drafted a defensive lineman from the Gophers too, so that's kind of exciting.
For sure, man. Yeah, so Josh, I noticed when you perform, you always got the sunglasses on, man. Any significance behind that? Behind the
Well, I'm
sunglasses?
a big Jack Nicholson fan,
Oh, Laker fan, big Laker fan too, man. Jack
Oh,
Nicholson.
the biggest, right?
Uh,
Good old Jack, yeah, for sure.
no doubt.
Well, yeah, man.
Yeah. No, okay. No, I was just curious, man. And, it's funny you mentioned I was watching, I like going back to on YouTube. You can go back and watch a lot of these, well, probably all of them. I was watching that baby 1987 game. I think it was game 5, the baby skyhook by Magic against with a couple seconds left against the cell. Oh man, that never gets old, man. And then the Boston Garden is just, you can hear a mouse urinate, in there. It's so quiet.
Oh yeah, you gotta love that, man. No, those were some great rivalries for sure.
Unreal.
That's,
Yeah, and 1985 is great too, because when the Lakers got revenge from '84, and they won it in Boston, the first time ever. They broke that. They got the monkey off their back in
oh,
'85.
that was beautiful, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
hopefully we'll restore the glory coming up here. The Lakers glory, will be
I hear you.
restored.
They always figure it out, man. They always figure it out, man. And
Yeah.
Josh, go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
Oh no, and I'm not trying to take nothing away from the hometown Timberwolves either, because they had a good season, and they got a good new coach and stuff now too. So they're, I'm a Lakers fan and a Timberwolves fan as well. And A-Rod's actually the owner now of the T-Wolves.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Alex Rodriguez, yeah, or part owner,
Part
yeah.
owner.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of exciting, that they're good again, because they've got a rough history, and oh man, some bad, in that Steph Curry draft. They could have had Steph Curry. They drafted 2 point guards ahead of Steph Curry. The T-Wolves did.
Oh gosh.
Rubio and Johnny Flynn ahead of Curry. So, but no, it goes. Some people might think there's a curse or something, because I don't know if you remember this, when the Timberwolves played the Lakers. I was there for it. As in Minneapolis back in 2004.
Yep.
We actually had the home court advantage, and but Sam Cassell couldn't even play the last few games of that series because he had gotten injured. And how he got injured was doing his big ball celebration. I don't know if you've ever seen him do that.
The big ball.
Yeah, where he acted like he was
Oh.
celebrating, like, and he, like, yeah, I don't, and he got injured doing that, so they call it, like, the Cassell curse, and then it's like, we get beat, the Wolves get beat by the Lakers.
I remember that was the year they lost to the Pistons, man, in '04.
Yeah, in 5 games with
And
Chauncey Billups, and yeah, that
who?
Pistons.
Yeah, exactly. Rip Hamilton and those guys.
Yeah,
Who is the guy that Minnesota had? Who was the Troy something?
Troy Hudson.
Troy Hudson, man. He was balling
Yeah.
that series. He was great.
And then he wanted to just become a rapper, so that was his big thing. Oh yeah, he tried to. Yeah, I don't know if it worked out real well for him on that, but
Oh man, yeah, I remember, Josh. I remember, man. I wanted to talk about real quick, Josh. Going back to your videos and on Instagram and your Purple Preacher video. There was one on. You were in front of a venue with the stars, a bunch of stars on the wall. For
Oh,
it's,
that's First Ave, yeah.
oh, that's First
Prin-
Ave. Okay.
they filmed Purple Rain there, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
there
the
it
spot.
is.
Legendary, yeah. Legendary spot. Great concerts there.
Wow, man. You see, yeah, there's a bunch of names on those on that wall and those
Yeah.
stars. Just people that have performed there, right?
Oh, and that's the thing too, I mean, I'm talking so much sports here, but yeah, I mean, we could talk forever just about the music from, Minnesota too. It's amazing, and like just the sports entertainment, like we're saying, entertainers. Like, in fact, when we're talking about the Timberwolves, I remember seeing, and that First Avenue is right by the Target Center, where the Timberwolves play, right
Okay.
downtown there on the north end of downtown. And back in the day, like the first time the Timberwolves ever made the playoffs, uh, they ended up getting swept by the Houston Rockets. But we were just excited, hey, we're in the playoffs. So Jesse the Body, who became our governor and everything,
Yeah.
Jesse Ventura, he an old Navy SEAL,
Yeah.
respect to all you, veterans, he actually came down from the rafters like on a rope, and he came down. He's like, Houston, it's time to show you some Minnesota muscle,
Uh,
and then the whole place just went wild, and yeah, he was like a regular season ticket holder, with the Wolves. He was always at the games, and Prince would be sitting courtside along with, getting back to the music. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, the Hall of Fame music producers, are
yeah.
from here, and they would always be sitting there courtside too. In fact, Kevin Garnett, he had married Jimmy Jam's wife's sister, so they were like, you
Oh,
know, related and whatnot through that. But yeah, those guys, man, just I mean, back in the day, Minneapolis was really a place to be too, because they recorded, at their Flight Time studio, they recorded Janet Jackson, Mariah Carey, Usher, all these people would be in town. Mary J. Blige, Boys to Men. I mean, you name it, just down the line.
wow. I never knew
They,
they were from Minnesota, brother.
yeah, they were in like the time, with like Morris Day. I mean, this is going back, but the
Yeah.
whole funky town, is what they called it back then.
Wow.
The
Uh,
Minneapolis sound, yeah.
Funky Town. There's a song called Funky Town, right?
Mhm.
Is that
About
it?
Minneapolis, yeah. Lips Incorporated. That's about Minneapolis. They're from here too, yeah. Hmm.
Man, this is just it's awesome, man. Like all this stuff ties back into I've heard that song since I was a kid, man, forever. Funky
That's
Town.
a good dance too.
And lo and behold, it's related to Minneapolis, man.
Well, and no, I like all kinds of music too, even though when I just do my rhyme, and it's usually just a cappella and whatnot. But I actually back in the day, at First Ave there was a place where like the breakers would go and stuff, and I wasn't really a b-boy as far as like the break dancing and stuff, but like Idea, who I was talking about earlier, not only was he like the greatest freestyle rapper, he was actually a really good break dancer as
Oh,
well. And there was a group this back in the day, like house music, Sonic Boom of Love, that they would actually have me dance on stage, for their concerts. And so I, I kind of say like Tupac, I got my start as a dancer, because if you remember, and I'm repping.
oh
Let me
yeah.
see if I can,
Oh,
Pac here with the,
that's awesome, man.
but because he started out with, if you remember, with Digital Underground,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
dancing the Humpty Dance, and
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, Alex East from Sonic Move Love, he has one his star up there on First Ave. So shout out to some of the old local homies there.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Hey, Hey, Josh, man, at this time, I want to see if you could drop a little bit of a sample for us, for the audience, some of that Purple Preacher swag, some of that
Oh,
Preacher
okay.
rhyme.
You do a little, just a little freestyle.
Yeah, if you could maybe just drop a little bit, so just to give us a little taste.
I can do that. I can do it for you. I'll try my best here since you're putting me on the spot, but I'll try to give you something. Yeah, I'll try to bust a little freestyle here on Profile because I can flow for a miracle mile. Yes, I'm the Miracle MC here on Profile Pod TV, just taking it easy. But I can fight like Bruce Lee, and I'm repping for the MSP. Yes, I can go off the dome here where the Lakers' original home. Yes, where the big Vikings roam. Yes, I'm from the soda like Jesse the Bod. Oh, and I'm here on Profile Pod, giving thanks to God. Yes, I'm fast like Ahmad Rashad, and they call me Hot Rod. Woo! Because I get hyper like Rowdy Roddy Piper. I shoot rhymes like a sniper, and I can wrestle like the Viper. Yes, I know how to flow, and I'll hit you with an RKO. I'm repping for the Lake Show, and I chant skull. Woo! Yes, I'm styling and I'm profiling. On me, the good Lord is smiling. Yes, I'm known for rhyming and I'm shining like Dustin the Diamond.
I love
I
it.
try to give you a little something.
Oh man, that never gets old, man. That doesn't get old at all. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, what I was talking about is very unique, very cool, man. Was that off the dome right now?
You could probably tell because it wasn't all too fluid.
No, man, that was
Yeah,
great.
I record the videos. I try to, have a little bit in my mind more what I want to say
Man,
and whatnot. But
freestyling, man. Oh man, hey Josh, man, that's awesome, man. I really appreciate what you do, man, and I want to continue to stay connected to you, man, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you, man, and chat, and whether it's on here or whether it's an Instagram or DMing or whatever, man. You know, I really appreciate you, man. And before we wrap things up, man, where can the people find you, man? Where can they see your performances, your videos, your content?
yeah, it's well, like you say, Instagram, it's purple underscore preacher. And then I got a YouTube channel, Purple Preacher YouTube channel. And I actually did do a Purple Preacher feature on one of Killer Ron's albums, Purple Thriller 2. Per, he's with the Drodians, and so you can find that on all the streaming, platforms and stuff. Shout out to all the Drodians and Killeron, and yeah. So and thanks to you, man, again, and everything you do, man. I just appreciate you so much, and the whole Social Nostra network. Shout out to Kevin Perkins and all you guys, man. I appreciate you guys so much and everything you do.
Absolutely, man. It's the love goes both ways, brother. And yeah. Again, it's always a pleasure, man. And I'm gonna continue to follow you and track you and man, but hopefully, soon we'll meet face to face. Maybe we'll do an in-person interview, and
Oh yeah.
it'll happen soon. Hopefully, sooner than later.
Yeah, you got to get up here to Minnesota, man.
Absolutely, man. Heck yeah, man. No doubt, no doubt. I'll let you know, man. You'll be the first person I tell when I get out there and go visit some of those landmarks, those amazing historical landmarks out there, First Ave and the Armory and just
Oh yeah,
University of Minnesota and all that good stuff, man.
a lot of good stuff, man. But you're in a pretty good spot where you're at, man. I love California too, man. I'll always love Cali.
Oh man, yeah. Let me know when you come out next time, man. You gotta let me know, man. And so, but yeah, we'll meet up face to face, brother, soon. You know,
Oh, that sounds good, man. Well, thanks again for everything, man. I really appreciate it. Great being back on with you again, man. Twice
anytime.
as twice as Minnesota nice.
There it is. I love it. I love it, man. Yeah, man. You're welcome anytime, brother. You're welcome anytime. Ladies and gentlemen, there is Josh Redfield, aka the Purple Preacher. You just saw a little sample. Go give him a follow. Go check out his content and go check out his YouTube channel. Go support the man. He's doing big things, man. And he's super unique, super original. He's an inspiration. Get ready for his book forthcoming. So it's always a pleasure to have him on, man. I want to, before I go, I want to just shout out, give my own, a little shout out, a shameless plug here of my t-shirts. You guys can see, I got my t-shirt, Profile Pod. You can go on my Instagram, Profile Pod, or Social Nostra, view the shop. If you want to pick up a shirt, man, and support the podcast, I would appreciate that. So you're always, it's always there on the homepage in the bio. So go check out the Profile Pod t-shirts. They're purple and black, and going back to purple, man. That's why inspired my podcast colors, the Lakers. So Purple Preacher's here, and it all goes hand in hand, baby. So once again, man, Josh, thank you so much, brother, for being here with us, man. And I will
Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. One more episode in the books, man, with another spectacular guest. Give us a follow, follow, subscribe, share. Go give Josh, the Purple Preacher, a follow. Leave me a rate and review on Apple Podcasts. It's all good, man. So go check out all the content. You can't go wrong. Go check out Social Nostra. All those guys are doing big things, man. So we're just going to continue to rock and roll, put out great content, and love what we do here. So for the Purple Preacher, I'm Double A, your host here on the Profile Pod. We will see you guys next time. And always remember to take it easy. All right, Josh. I will see you soon, brother.
All right, my man. God bless.
You too. Peace.
Peace out.